Caddis Maximus here again, this time with the Harbor Freight Professional Locking Extension Set. This is the 3-piece half-inch set. The only a single piece of the impact half-inch extension. That was the only impact one that they had. And it was actually a 4-piece 3/8 that actually had a short, 3-inch extension, but I lost that one. So each of these sets do indeed include a 3-inch. On the half-inch, it's a 3-inch, a 5-inch, and a 10-inch. That's what the impact is a 10-inch. And it's actually a 6-inch on the 3/8. Once again, a 10-inch, and then a real long 17.5-inch. They work pretty well. One thing I would comment, there are a couple of comments. They all look pretty nice, although the impact version is heavier duty if you compare it to its half-inch brother here. If we can get this to focus, there we go. You can see that the collar is a little heavier duty, and you can see that they use little hex fasteners, so technically they can be taken apart, or I believe they can be taken apart. You'll pull out this little hex fastener, and then the collar will come off, and then the little plunger that's in the end, and that's how these work. They have a little spring behind the plunger. This collar pulls on the little pin and releases the ball. See how it drops in there? And so they're pretty nice, and the impact is pretty heavy duty. Since we're zoomed in, we'll give you a nice close-up look. They're made pretty well. The impact is indeed heavier duty, chrome molybdenum, and it has the proper retaining, through hole. So they're actually pretty darn nice. The one thing I will mention about the 3/8 is they don't hold on to sockets very well. Now, on these half-inch, particularly this impact, you can see how far the ball sticks out. Now, when we use that on some sockets here, that it's actually almost too tight, to tell you the truth. It won't even... That socket barely fits. That socket will not come off of there, period. So pretty nice. However, on the 3/8, it's not exactly the same story here. Here's a 3/8 impact socket, and actually it's holding on okay. But the big issue I had with these is the 3/8 ones, the little ball dent there doesn't really protrude super far. So I've had a few sockets. I think this one will work pretty good. Where it's actually still slipped off. So if you have a socket that's a little older or used or isn't sized properly. The other comment is on the long extension. Doesn't appear to be made by the same manufacturer. The others also seem to be made real high quality. But on this 3/8 18-inch extension, you can see that is this clearly the gray of the chrome is not the same color. It does not have the same luster. It's not as high quality chrome. You can see that by the end, that it is just not manufactured the same. This is chamfered, this is not chamfered, and it just kind of looks yucky. Even the center pin is nice and smooth. Where on this one, if we can, you can start to see where it's just like rough. The other thing is this one, the long one is turned down, but the other ones are full size, full diameter all the way through. So this long one actually twists and springs an awful lot. And I'm not exactly sure why they decided to do that. All the ones on the shelf are like that. Probably because to make a price point, they just chose a cheap long extension, which doesn't make sense. You'd use a cheaper shorter extension because you need the thicker, heavier duty most on the longest one. So that was an error. Actually, I'll go ahead and take apart one of these so you can take a look inside how one of these operates. I did just notice that on the impact rated one, they actually did put they stamped, just like for the retaining the ball, they put a little stamp over the set screw so it wouldn't come out. So that's a good idea. We use a little Allen wrench. It feels like they did indeed use some Loctite in there. Remove. Oh, it's just a socket head cap screw. God, this thing is fidgety. So that's kind of nice. Get that out of there. No, whoop. Doesn't appear to be Loctite. So then, whoop, the little collar will slide off. And then no, it's self-retaining. I didn't realize that. So these things you can't fully take apart. They actually stamp the ball after this pin's in there. So you can only part, but at least you can kind of clean it out. So that's kind of neat. I didn't know that. Then that would be the end of this video. But thanks for watching. And please subscribe. Catus Maximus out. I'll have more videos soon.